the transportation issues. Whereas we will work with the Oklahoma Department of Transportation to address traffic concerns.
These were some issues that have come up on Facebook that we feel like if the city, just says we're going to do our part to make sure that's done, it'll, maybe help ease some concerns that people have.
It initially had a previous motion. Does the person want to withdraw that one and go with the second?
I'll accept those as friendly amendments.
All right, and the second stays the same?
Yes.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second for that.
All right, Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Bill Watland,
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Under ordinances, number 11, consideration possible action to approve ordinance number 1205, ordinance rezoning property located behind and west of the Seminole Shopping Center from C3 commercial to C1 neighborhood commercial.
Am I correct in this, storage facilities?
Yes,
Okay.
storage buildings. We had a healthy debate at the Planning Commission. Some of the surrounding property owners were concerned about additional flood water. Some were worried about unsightly things being on commercial property, which that's what it's already zoned. This is simply zoning it for a different purpose. I think the fact that Bo Woodruff is involved, and he's got a pretty good reputation as a dirt guy, and the fact that he's going to have it engineered before he begins work for stormwater drainage, I think ultimately the Planning Commission felt like that was enough safeguards that we were going to get a good project and that they wanted to see it happen.
And I concur.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Bill Watland,
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Number 12, consideration and possible action to approve ordinance number 1206, an ordinance addressing record-keeping requirements regarding the identity of the seller of specific goods to pawnbrokers and second-hand dealers.
Can someone explain what that?
Yes,
is
sir.
related
I've
to,
got the
please?
police chief on hand who has been after this for quite a while. You mind, I don't know if the mic's working, but you might want to use the mic.
Right now, there's pawnbrokers are licensed through the state, and they've got some pretty strict requirements of what they have to follow in order to take stuff in. And that's anything they take in, they have to document it, they have to document who they get it from. Our pawnbrokers here have agreed to go onto a service called Leads Online. And what that is a service that law enforcement only can search. And we find stolen goods on it, we find who's selling stolen goods, stuff like that through the search. But the whole for this is that we've got secondhand dealers that pop up. And they'll pop up for a short time, they leave, some stay. And they'll buy guns and turn around and resell guns, they'll buy gold. Once again, turn around and resell it, DeWalt drills, whatever. We'll show up and ask them, hey, this is stolen, where did you get this from? And their answer to us is, I don't know. If they do it at a pawnbroker, the pawnbroker has to give us the driver's license, all the information. The secondhand dealers have no requirements whatsoever. So they're basically acting in the process of a pawnbroker to some degree with no oversight whatsoever. So they're taking in stolen goods, and some of these people, literally, that's what they do is buy stolen goods. So this is a way that we can, all they have to do, all that this ordinance is stating is that they have to take for certain items, not clothing, not furniture, not stuff like that. Anything with the serial number, like Xboxes is one of the big hot stolen items, drills, gold, guns, stuff like that. For them to take that in, they have to document where they got it from, and then a simple report on the Leads Online, which is free service to them.
What technically constitute a second-hand dealer? If I purchase something at the pawn shop and 5 years later I bought a skill saw and I turn around and sell it to Bill, am I responsible for keeping a log of?
No.
I mean, like, how much stuff do you have to, what constitute a second-hand dealer?
This does not apply to flea markets, does not apply to garage sales, to the private public. This This applies to people that are doing this as a business, a
I
full-time
got you.
business, is what this applies to.
Television's on the list?
Yes, sir. Anything with the serial number, yes, sir. TVs have serial numbers. Anything, and like I said, we've run into this countless times where we go to somebody and say, hey, you have this stolen Xbox. We've got the serial number right here. We can show that it's stolen. Where did you get it? I don't know. And they just have no information for us. So we have no way to research to investigate our crime.
So this would require them to keep those records, and so when you go, where did you get it, they'll have to tell you.
Yes, sir. And it also requires them to go on to Leads Online and enter those things into Leads Online, which once again, we pay for the services, the police department, but it's free to the secondhand dealer. All you have to have is an internet connection. You do it right from your cell phone.
Question, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
That, the records that, when somebody sells something, is it something that has to have a serial number, or could it be a gold chain, or you
Yes,
just
sir.
have to describe it,
There's a
or
list-
what?
There's a list in the ordinance of
Oh,
those
okay.
items. And it's pretty specific. Precious metals are on there, diamonds, stuff like that. It's, here again, furniture, clothing, household goods, basic household goods are exempt from it. So your regular secondhand store, like we've got one, for example, that's right across from, Broadway and Main, right over in there. And they primarily sell clothes, baby cribs, car seats, stuff like that. This will have next to no effect on them, unless they start taking in these type of items.
Any
This
other-
ordinance is only for the city of Seminole.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what happens outside the city of Seminole?
We have no control of that, sir. We can only control what the city of Seminole does.
How long do they maintain those records?
2 years.
Any other questions?
Now,
Motion
the
to-
pawn shops are already under all these. They're under this by state law. There's state laws that regulate the pawn shops. And the pawn shops, which are our two biggest dealers here, they help draft this, and they're 100% behind this.
Sure. Other people selling stuff like them ought to follow the same rules.
That's exactly, and that's exactly what it is. It's an equal playing field.
All right.
Because right now, if somebody steals something, they know that if they go to a pawn shop and try to pawn this, they have to produce identification, they have to produce stuff. If they go to the guy that's, just goes out and rents a little storefront and is there for 6 months, they don't have to present anything.
Gotcha.
One last question, please, Mayor.
Sure.
If somebody's like working in their house, and they buy items, and it's kind of gets around that they're buying a lot of stuff in the house, is that still considered as a storefront? They gonna follow these guidelines, or what?
Probably not. Probably not. I mean, we would have to, it would be a lot of work on our part to put them into these guidelines. It would be more, in my opinion, it would be more of
Setup.
It'd be more of a code enforcement issue of you're out there operating without a license. You're operating a business in city limits without a license.
If somebody could go sell them something and say, hey, I sold this to them,
Well, you would have to have a whole lot of that.
okay.
We would, this may end up, we may end up going and talking to the guy that has a garage sale every single week for, 6 months. And he's changing, he's selling drills, he's selling all this stuff. Yeah, we may go talk to him. But as far as, somebody coming and selling something to you, you're not involved in it. This would require you to do that.
Thank
This
you.
is only somebody doing it as a business.
Right.
I'm curious, have we checked, have other cities have they done this?
Yes, sir.
The state obviously has their requirements, and then the municipalities, they follow suit. I think that the chief has done more research on that than I have.
A motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes,
Bill Watland.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Under current business, consideration possible action to approve closing Main Street from Strothers to Osage for Main Street events as follows. 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on September 16th for Seminole Nation Days Parade. 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. on September 22nd for the Homecoming Parade. 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. on October 31st for Trick or Treat on Main Street. And 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on December 9th for the Christmas Parade.
Move to approve.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Bill Waltman.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Had I had more time to stage that, I would have asked you to vote no to see how long Carter has to sleep on the sofa.
That was resolution number 2. I'm not worried about number 10 or 11. So.
So I have a question. So
quicker.
That's right.
Yeah.
the Christmas parade's gonna be on the daytime this year?
Yeah, we've changed the Christmas parade this year to Saturday, December 9th at 11.
Okay. That's good for shopping.
Yeah, it's going to coincide with the Chocolate Festival at the Wellness Center.
Uh-huh.
And we have plans to actually change the parade route. We're gonna go, instead of north to south, we're gonna go south to north, ended up by Boomtown, so the parade route can be a mile long, which means we can draw bigger, better things for the parade. So, a little bit different this time.
That's good.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Number 14, consideration of possible action to approve a conditional use permit for Bo and Michelle Woodruff for use of land to construct mini-storage units as recommended by the Planning Commission.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Bill Waltman.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Number 15, consideration possible action to approve changing the speed limits at Sportsman's Lake from 35 miles an hour to 25 miles per hour on the main road, beginning at the west entrance to the east entrance, and from 25 to 15 miles per hour inside Coves 1 and 3, as recommended by the Police Department as well as the Lake Development Commission.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Bill Waltman.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Under current business, number 16 on the addendum, consideration possible action to approve closing Main Street between Keith Marshall and Wilson from Monday, August 7th through Sunday, August 13th for the annual carnival that was scheduled to have been in Municipal Park before recent rains have caused a force and change of venue.
We're a little late on that, aren't we?
I'm just telling you what it says. I can't make it up.
Is it not supposed to be the 7th?
No, it's the carnival's in town. As you guys may or may not know, we're gonna have it at the baseball field parking lot this year. They have staged the carnival in the upper levels of the, like where the T-ball fields are, and that's really all they're using, but I'd like to, and the carnival company wants to close the street right there between the parking lots at the baseball field, from the tennis courts kind of down to the bridge, between 6:30 and 10:30 on Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. Just to keep people from driving through there and running over people from the parking, it's just safer. So it should read the 10th, 11th, and 12th from 6:30 PM until 10:30 PM. That's when we would like to have the streets closed.
Move to amend.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Bill Waltman.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Move to pass the resolution as amended.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Bill Waltman.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Report City Manager.
Yeah, I've got several things to discuss. First of all, I want to congratulate Seminole State College and the Educational Foundation. You guys always do fantastic work, but this one in particular is going to be a huge impact upon our community. Dr. Utterback, the things that you've accomplished out there are many, and congratulations on your retirement. I hope you enjoy a lot of Margaritavilles in your future. I would like to say a couple of things about Kenneth Crawford, our new help. I've been around Kenneth. I've been around baseball a long, long time. I've seen more Little League baseball and carried away more dirt from Little League fields than I care to admit. And Kenneth has been there for a lot of those things. And I just want to say, I think we've got a diamond. And I'm not talking about a diamond in a rough. This guy is a proven commodity to the tune of through the tournaments he runs, the communities that he has run these tournaments in have seen very close to $1 billion, with a B, dollars of economic impact. So Durant, Ardmore, Chickasha, Choctaw, the places that he has run tournaments have seen phenomenal economic impact. And for us to be able to capture him to do work in Seminole is nothing short of a coup. And he and his family do a fantastic job. I can't tell you how excited I am for our restaurants and the hotels and the things that are about to happen for our community. I'm really excited that the Tourism Council has chipped in to help retain him, and that the college and the Educational Foundation had the vision to do this. It speaks a lot about Seminole. I'm ready for it to take off. I'm so excited. If this high school bond passes, and I'll just not go very far into that, but I really believe that is the launching pad for the exciting things that are about to happen in Seminole. And I'm talking in terms of housing, I'm talking in terms of hotels and more retail. We've already seen Tractor Supply, Casey's, the quick stop that's going in, the truck stop. Those are huge, not just sales tax generators, but they're property tax generators that are going to help us pay for the high school and other schools and other education. And it just keeps layering, and I'm really excited to see what's fixing to happen in Seminole. I wanted to also talk about smoke testing. We'll have smoke testing on August 19th, and I think that is a Saturday. For those of you that are not familiar with smoke testing, it's a procedure that we can do on our sewer lines to help us identify where the stormwater, we call it inflow and infiltration, I&I for short, where that's coming from. And so on Harbor Street, between Harbor Street and Boren, we're going to be smoke testing on the 19th of August. And I can tell you from experience, when this happens and people get smoke coming up into their drains, mainly, well, it's always because their traps are not operating properly or their plumbing was not installed properly. So the smoke can get in their vent stacks, and it can, in some rare cases, get into their homes. It's not toxic. They don't need to be alarmed, but we do need to test this and find out where our major leaks are. So on August 19th, I wanted to advise the citizens and the council that we will, if you get a funny phone call, hey, I got smoke coming from my sewer, you'll know we're doing that smoke testing on August the 19th. On August the 19th, since your home is going to be under smoke test, you might as well get out and play a little golf. We've got a golf tournament at the local golf course, and John Kramer is a key element in that and trying to promote that, but we're really trying to get our golf groups back in action, and it's going to be a two-man scramble format, I believe, and we'd like to have some more teams. I think Saturday night we're going to have a Calcutta, which is always a lot of fun, and we're going to cut up and have a good time, and we'd love to have some more people come out and visit with us. That's all I have, Mayor.
City Attorney.
Nothing.
Ward 1, Bill Wantland.
I think the city attorney should say something.
Well, no one listened to me last time when I told them to mow their lawn. So tomorrow, I guess the judge is going to have to impose a little bit of corrective action on a few people. But please mow your lawn. We take photographs when the citations are issued. Had a fellow that called me and said, hey, I just mowed my lawn 3 days before I got the citation, but the photographs indicated that unless his weeds grow up about 2.5 feet tall in that period of time, I think we were at the wrong place. So please mow your lawn. I probably have more citations this time than I did last month.
Wow.
So,
For whatever it's worth, I mowed my lawn today.
thank you.
Ward 1, Larry Church.
Oh, I just want to thank everyone for doing such a good job for the city of Seminole and remind everyone and encourage them to vote yes for the kids.
Amen.
Ward 2, Stephanie Lambert.
Same thing, just vote yes for the kids. That's and just support each other in everything that we're doing, because I think John and I have the same calls continuously. Communication is really key to everything. And but I also wanted to thank Dr. Utterback and Bubba, and I cannot remember your real name for the Larry. Bubba Smith. Really for what you guys do for the community. Not only, I mean, if you guys really knew what they did for the community behind the scenes and everything, you would understand that these guys are true leaders, and I look up to them, and they're kind of my mentors myself. But thank you guys very much.
Ward 2, John Kramer.
Just encourage everyone to vote for the school.
Ward 3, Tim Poplin.
Mr. Crawford, thank you for what you bring into the community. Same thing with the people at the junior college. I mean, that's a big asset, and we appreciate what you've done for us. And we're going to try to carry it on and make you proud for what you've done. And I have a question, too, for the chief. We have a new code officer. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
I've seen the car running around, and that's probably why we got a long court session. But thank you for following up on that. I get several calls about that, so we're after them, and
We're doing this best as fast as we can.
I know you are, sir, but thank you for that. We'll follow up on it. That's all. Thank you.
Ward 4, Chris Anson.
I can just say ditto to all the thank yous. But also, if you run into somebody who's not for this school bond, if they need information, want to know more, please send them our way. Let's get them, all the information they want. We don't want to lose any votes for lack of information.
Ward 4, Dee Dee Patterson.
I'd like to thank Mike Grant in particular and his people for what they've been doing. Mike, it doesn't show right now, but we're about to get a test, I think, when the rain is coming. And it's going to show. It's going to really help. Your crew's been working awful hard, as well as all the other employees of the city. We can't say enough for them. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Amen.
Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Third and
Opposed?
fourth.